gambling in the Super Bowl is over. The Broncos struggles in the Super Bowl. John Elway struggles. Nighttime at San Diego. But the party has just begun in the Rockies.
Have a hard time wiping the smile off my face.
Tom Jackson and Chris Berman, welcome to NFL Primetime. And it's a primetime that you and I have never had the opportunity to do because an AFC team, and an AFC team with power, won the Super Bowl. Well, congratulations to the Broncos.
Yeah, congratulations to the Broncos. And I said this morning, for the Broncos or any AFC to win a Super Bowl, they were going to have to overcome the Green Bay Packers. It was going to be the Dallas Cowboys. It was going to be the San Francisco 49ers at the top of their game. So I think the thing is the Broncos really earned this, and they earned it in much the way that the NFC has won that streak of games. They played power football.
They played a more solid football game. And Terrell Davis might have run for 200 yards had he not had a migraine, but more on that in a moment. Well then, we came into this ball game wondering if the AFC could break a 13-game losing streak in the Super Bowl. And history will show that if the Broncos were to beat the Green Bay Packers, that outside of Joe Namath's Jets in 1968, and the last game ever played by the AFL, the Chiefs, when they beat the Vikings in 1969, Super Bowl IV, this would be the largest upset by points of the spread in Super Bowl history. But it would never happen, would it? I mean, after all, NFC, the Green Bay Packers, 6 of the 8 teams that had come to the Super Bowl with a chance to repeat as champs had done that. The AFC, of course, had not won a Super Bowl since 1983, when the Los Angeles Raiders beat the Washington Redskins. As we wait to show you what exactly happened, in case, by the way, you were out of it for the day, and just kind of come in, it was a game in which the Broncos, why don't you tell me what happened before the game with Denver?
Well, I think certainly when you think about the mentality of Coach Mike Shanahan, he knew that he had a tough football team and he had confidence in them. I happened to be in the locker room with him. Team kneeled down, said the Lord's Prayer. Mike Shanahan got up. I think everybody was expecting a big speech to lead into the Super Bowl. He got up and he said, let's go out and show what kind of football team we have. And I think the translation was for everybody on the team, Coach knows we're ready to play, and I think they went out and showed that.
Those zeros, the 0 for 13, the 0 for 9 of the class of 1983, the 0 for 4 for the Broncos, the 0 for 3 for John Elway, those zeros didn't mean anything, as it turned out. As Super Bowl 32 stepped off at the Murph, the Big Q, the Vince Lombardi Trophy, in the company of Brett Favre. But with John Elway rested, Joe Gibbs, Doug Williams, Eddie Robinson flipped the coin. And it was right away the Packers won the toss. And their offense, after Brett Favre barely avoided a sack on the second play of the game, got going. Favre to Antonio Freeman, 13 yards, and then it was Dorsey Levens running at the linebackers, Tom.
Yeah, what a great first drive by the Green Bay Packers. You see the Broncos get a little too far outside. You see Dorsey Levens powering up inside, so the Broncos would have to make some adjustments.
And the same spot again for Levens, and the Broncos 12, 11, 10-yard runs on the first drive. Then Favre started feeling it. He had a big game and a big hookup all day with Antonio Freeman, 13 yards. Next play from the 27. Favre, Freeman, touchdown, the feed in, 7-0 the Pack on the first drive of the game, Tom.
This is a great throw and catch by Brett Favre and Antonio Freeman. But you're going to see Tyrone Braxton right there. He's spot shadowed. When he comes up toward the slot, you see him cheat just a little bit, and what a great job of Freeman adjusting to get by him. And look at the great throw right at the back of the end zone.
Yeah, but you see, Denver has this running back named Terrell Davis coming home to San Diego, where he started Lincoln High School. And very early on, a recurring theme, a run up the left side for 27 yards. This is Denver's first drive. He needs a little rest. He suffered a migraine. But John Elway, look at John Elway. Tom, you remember when?
I remember when. You know, he ran today a lot like he ran earlier in his career.
That was down to the 2-2 plays later. Terrell Davis, TD, first of his 3 touchdowns, 1 drive each team, 7-7, and the pinball machine was on. Next Packer drive, but it changed because Tyrone Braxton, after Favre was pressured, threw a floater. Braxton makes the pick. And then here comes TD.
Yeah, this is called toss 14. You see it looks like it's going outside. Terrell Davis cuts it back to the 4 hole, and then only Terrell Davis can run downhill at you like that.
This is the same drive, second quarter. They go 98 yards. They walk it because they're on the 1 yard line, and Elway doesn't walk it. There's nobody near him. Touchdown Broncos, 14-7 Denver. Next Packer drive. Steve Atwater had a big game. He pops Favre in the blitz, and Neil Smith recovers downfield. Broncos couldn't move the ball with Davis sideline, but the second longest field goal in Super Bowl history. 51 yards, good for Jason Elam. 2 turnovers, 10 points, 17-7 Denver. So, Brett Favre and company with 7.5 to go in the second quarter. Deep in their own territory, a huge play by Chimura to hold on again. That's Atwater with the big pop. Favre, 7 plays later. They make 6 first downs in this drive. Freeman, that was Chimura with 22 then. Here's the TD to Freeman with the beautiful float, Tom, to make it 17-14.
Actually, pretty good coverage by Tyrone Braxton, but you can see he only left them a little bit of space at the back of the end zone. Tyrone does a good job. He reads Chimura coming out, does a good job of picking him up. Now he's playing the back of the end zone to help him, and Favre and Chimura just happen to squeeze it in.
So it's a 96-yard drive. It took up almost all the last 7.5 minutes of the half, and it's 17-14 Denver halftime. So Terrell Davis, after really missing the second quarter, playing with, well, what was thought as a concussion, but it's a migraine, and the pitch on the first play of the third quarter, and Davis fumbles, Butler and Gilbert Brown force it, and the Packers recover. So, Favre to Robert Brooks, who did not have a big day at all. Steve Atwater is right there, but cannot quite handle it. It was too easy almost.
Yeah, great read off the double zone. I think he was thinking about where he was going to go with the football once he had it. He didn't tuck it away.
Pack had a field goal by Longwell. They took it off the board because of a penalty, but they couldn't get in the end zone. Longwell, 27-yarder, were tied at 17. And then Darian Gordon fumbles, and it looked like the tide was turning.
Well, we knew that it was going to be a game of field position, and this could have been critical, except there was a penalty on the Packers.
And then Rod Smith fair catches the punt, but there's an illegal fair catch. And at this time, it was settling into...
was getting a little sloppy.
We weren't really sure who wanted this thing. Was it a questionable call, Tom? He waved, did he?
Well, I thought he got it up, and, you know, that's a judgment call by the official.
Well, so the Pack of the Broncos buried, and as the Packers went almost the entire length of the field, Elway the bullet to Shannon Sharpe, 11 yards in double coverage. Then Terrell Davis running up the middle for a bruising 8 yards, and very rarely did the first guy to get the TD ever make the tackle. Elway, this was a huge play to easy Ed McCaffrey over the middle into Green Bay territory, 36 yards. 3rd and 6 from the 12. Elway. And again, Tom, the scramble.
And what a great effort at the end. That was the only way he was going to get the first down. He goes through 3 Packers, and he's the only one actually standing at the end of that. You see him make the nice dive. You see him spot the first down marker, and then he's going to go through everybody to go get it.
The old whirly bird. And that sets up Terrell Davis. Touchdown. Broncos regain the lead, 24-17, 2 TDs for TD. Ensuing kickoff. Gordon fumbled, but it was negated, and Antonio Freeman fields it. He's hit by Tony Veland, and Tim Frequent Flyer McKyer falls on the ball for the Broncos. 1st and 10 as a result of the turnover. 3 turnovers for the Pack. Packer 24-yard line. Elway picked off by Eugene Robinson from
Hartford, Connecticut.
And a big play for the Packers, and they're back in business. 4th quarter. Pack driving. Favre to Brooks. Draws the interference call on Darian Gordon. 2 plays later. Favre to Freeman. Down to the 14-yard line. 17-yard pickup. Next play. Favre. Freeman. Touchdown. Tied at 24. 4th quarter. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be a Super Bowl for the ages. Packers and Broncos exchange possessions. Packers punting from their end zone. Hendrick did not have a big game. Gordon with the fair catch at the Packer 49, 3:27 to go. We wondered if John Elway would have a chance in the 4th quarter. Well, he had a big chance because Terrell Davis stuffed left side, but a flag is down, and it's a face mask.
Again, judgment call. A lot of people thought this should have been a 5-yard penalty, but you can see right there, maybe that's what the official saw Terrell Davis's head snap around.
Elway, play action to the fullback. They were not looking for Howard Griffith, and what a block by McCaffrey. 21 yards down to the 8. Neil Smith and company from the sideline say, we just wanted John to have a chance. We can be somebody. We can be contenders. 2nd and goal. Terrell Davis, a Super Bowl record 3rd touchdown. Rushing 31-24 Broncos. So Brett Favre would have to be, well, John Elway. Could he rally the defending champ Packers? 35 seconds left down to the 32 to Brooks. Atwater and Brooks collide. Both injuries. Both teams had to spend timeouts, automatic injuries inside the 2 minutes. Both players okay, but they had to come off. Last chance. 4th and 6. John Moms Mobley breaks up the pass for Chimura. The celebration ensues. John Elway wondering if he'd ever have this chance. Shannon Sharpe and the Broncos ecstatic. They carry off number 7 and a well-earned Vince Lombardi trophy to John Elway, Mike Shanahan, Pat Bowlen, the owner, John Beek, the GM, the entire Bronco organization, and the entire AFC. The Broncos win it 31-24, 30 carries, 157 yards rushing, 3 TDs for TD as the Broncos win it on a return, a triumphant return to his hometown of Terrell Davis, who conveniently is with our Andrea Kramer.
How much does this mean to you to be able to come home to San Diego and do this?
Come on now, I can't even, enough words would not describe how this feels. I'm from San Diego, come back home, and not only to win a game, but to be voted MVP, that's special. This is like the pinnacle of my short career so far. I mean, there's nothing that can top this.
What happened when you were leg whipped by Santana Dotson and got the concussion?
Yeah, I didn't have a concussion. I just got dazed a little bit. Went to the sideline. I had an oral problem where I couldn't see, so that's what it normally happens before I get a migraine. So I took some medication for that, and I knew after 15, 20 minutes that it would subside. And it did during halftime. I came back out, and I was okay.
But you fumbled on the first carry. Yeah. Were you concerned about that? I
just try not to think about it. I mean, I dropped the ball, and there's nothing I can do about it at that point. Just try not to think about it. Just be a little more conscious about what I'm doing, squeeze the ball, and keep my legs moving. And I was concerned when it first happened because I felt I let the team down, but I had to make up for it some way, somehow.
Did you have a vision of what you wanted to accomplish in this game, and did it ever reach the point of 3 touchdowns and setting a Super Bowl record?
No doubt. I replayed the game in my mind the entire week. That's all I did was replay the game in my head. I had no vision of us losing. All I can think about was me making plays, and that's how you have to think when you're playing a game like this. You have to go into a game thinking positive, and there was no doubt in our mind that we would win this game.
When you saw that John was struggling, did you feel that you had to pick it up extra?
Without a doubt. I felt that John wasn't his normal self. He played a great game. The defense just did some things that I don't know if we accounted for him or not. But I felt, with me, I always feel that I have to carry the weight on my shoulders because I know other guys are going to make plays, but I have to be accountable for myself. I can't control other people. So with me, when I go into a game, I like the pressure.
Thank you very much. The homecoming king, Terrell Davis.
179 yards rushing for the team as a whole. Terrell Davis with 157. That's the 5th best job ever in a Super Bowl. Timmy Smith, Marcus Allen, John Riggins, Franco Harris, and now Terrell Davis. And no sacks allowed either.
No sacks on John Elway.
Hey, what a job by the offensive line. We could name all the names. Left seemed to be a recurring theme, which was Zimmerman and Schlereth, but all of them were excellent.
Well, Tom. I think so much was made of the fact that they were undersized in terms of the people that they were working against, but I think that Sterling did a great job of talking about how they block, the blocking scheme, and it's called railing right and railing left. You get people moving, and then you get leverage against them, and you start to move them. And then once you pounded people, and I said this morning, it would take 30 or more carries by Terrell Davis. He got 30 exactly. That meant that that team was going to begin to wear down, and I think we saw that. I talked about Gilbert Brown. He's a different player in the 4th quarter if you can make a commitment to the run, and the Broncos were close enough to be able to make that commitment.
Yeah, 39 carries, 179 for the Broncos, 4.6 yards a carry for the team. Power football, AFC team, Tom.
Well, I think that a lot of people underestimated the Denver Broncos and what they would be capable of in terms of the way that they would run the football. And I think that when you saw what they did to the Chiefs, when you saw what they did to the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were the best rush defense in football, I think that we almost could have envisioned this happening, except for the fact that there were those 13 consecutive losses. There were Broncos 0-4. There was all those things hanging over their heads.
This was a Packer team that in the playoffs in the 2 years had not allowed 100 yards to a team rushing. They gave up 179 today. We got more on NFL Primetime as we steamroll towards SportsCenter. Oh, the merriment has just begun. We'll be back.
This week at Rancho La Puerta, I will swim 310 laps. I will run 23 miles. that will lift 2 hours a day? I don't think so.
At Rancho La Puerta Spa in Baja, Mexico, you can do everything. Well, should your determination completely fail you, absolutely nothing. But you can't do anything with American Express. So bring your Visa card. It's everywhere you want to be.
So then Doris is driving it, and she says, "But Elliot, I can't feel the road." And I said, "But what do you expect? It's a luxury car." Anyway, we then drive it down the road. Have you ever driven down?
Bored with traditional luxury? It could be time for the supercharged Bonneville, one of the world's most powerful sports sedans.
Do you drive a luxury car, Frank?
You bet your ascot I do.
Luxury with attitude. The Bonneville by Pontiac.
Reggie! Did you eat your chunky soup?
How did you get down here? Ma?
Did you eat your chunky soup?
Yeah, Ma. Chunky beef with country vegetables. With more beef than any other soup. Lean beef, potatoes, vegetables. Chunky always hits the spot. Where'd you get that outfit?
Can't talk, gotta go. Just want to make sure you're eating good.
That's my mom.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
Campbell's Chunky Soup.
It's loaded with beef.
It's that time of year again, tax season. Are you prepared? Will you file your return with confidence or with crossed fingers? The Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Your Taxes can give you more confidence, and it's yours free with 10 weeks of the journal for just $3.90 a week. The Guide and the Journal, necessary items during a stormy season. Call now for the Wall Street Journal, 800-443-7400. That's 800-443-7400.
Nighttime in San Diego. Fun time for the AFC defense. Mark Malone and Ron Jaworski at the Big Q.
All right, thanks. Romo, this has got to be exciting for you, not only John Elway, the rest of this team. You break a 13-year jinx.
Yes, we did. No one thought we could do it. Everyone counted us out, and for 2 weeks, we told them how good they were. We told them they were the best team in the world, that hopefully we could show up and give them a game. But we knew in our hearts that we were the best team. And we set them up for 2 straight weeks. And we came in here and we showed the world that we're the best team.
Defensively, the scheme you guys had seemed to confuse Brett. He never got in his rhythm, oftentimes making bad decisions.
He did. He made a lot of bad throws. But I tell you what, we brought stuff from every direction, every side, up the middle, on the outside, and he was. I think he was confused out there. He threw a lot of bad balls, but he also threw a lot of good balls. But we hung and we played together, and we made the plays when we had to.
You know, Bill, late in the game, with the game on the line, you're down to 3 people left in the secondary that are healthy, yet Mike Shanahan stays aggressive, stays with the approach. Gutsy call.
It was awesome. That's what it's all about. That's what you want. That's the kind of coach you want being a defensive player, somebody that's going to keep the heat on. And, you know, we played our hearts out together. We knew we were the best team, and we came out here in front of the world and showed the world that we're the best team.
Bill Romanowski of the Denver Broncos, AFC's new world champions. Now back to the studio.
Sounds like a boxing match.
It's got a good ring to it, new world champion.
You would enjoy that. Hey, only 95 yards rushing allowed. Dorsey, Levin said 90 of it. Defensively, I mean, I know you give up 24 points, but still a more impressive effort than the Packers.
Well, I think that Bill Romanowski stated it well. They forced Favre into some bad throws, but he also made some good throws. And I don't think any one individual keyed what they did defensively. If there's one guy who was a key to what they did, it was the defensive coordinator, Greg Robinson, because he spent a lot of time coming after Brett Favre, not giving him a lot of time to sit and read down the football field. And then playing at the line of scrimmage and playing the run is just guts. And I thought that their front seven showed a lot of guts in the way they played Dorsey. He is a very, very good runner. Most of the time he's going to go through that first tackle. He didn't do that all the time today against the Broncos.
There was respect, obviously, between the two teams, no question about that. And as we come back here in a moment on NFL Primetime, look who sought out John Elway. Of course, he was searching him out the whole game. He never really did find him. Find the line of scrimmage. Reggie White, John Elway. Congrats. We'll be back.
What time did you finally get over there with this?
I really like the students. Our students come here with a variety of backgrounds. Now, for me, I think I'm the luckiest guy in the world, quite frankly, because I am actually learning from our students. I'm involved in a variety of research projects. My sense is my students tend to enjoy the research and their interaction, and I think that my research helps me to be a better teacher, and helps me to be really enthusiastic about what I'm doing because I'm constantly finding new things, and I like to share these new things, like most of us.
Mullinax Ford is the home of the great American trucks, where you'll find over 2,000 brand new Ford trucks on sale. Whether you're looking for a sporty F-150 pickup or a heavy-duty work truck, you'll find it at Mullinax, especially the hard-to-find specialty trucks like cabin chassis, box trucks, dumps with plows, utilities with cover or without. You'll find 4x4s, super cabs, crew cabs, and custom pickups, plus a great supply of snow plows. Whatever your needs, you'll find the right truck at the home of the great American trucks. Mullinax Ford, east, west, and south.
With ESPN magazine coming out, I really hope they take every precaution to avoid the coveraging situation. Something that's plagued me my entire career. Tiger beat in '93, I sprained my ankle. Model Railroader '96, I went into a 5-game slump. Cat fancy almost ended my career. I know one thing, I'm never doing cat fancy again.
Back to San Diego, where the Broncos have shocked the Packers 31-24 and are now the champions. Chris Myers with Neil Smith.
All right, thanks very much, Neil. What's this? What are you doing with that?
This is all the hard work and the desire, the commitment, all my life that I've been working for. And, you know, I have an opportunity to spend maybe 30 minutes with them, enjoy it. But, you know, it was an overall team effort, and, you know, I love it. I mean, this was a great game.
How did you get it in your hands?
Well, I went to the owner, and I said, Mr. B, I want to just hold it for about 30 minutes. I'll bring it back to you, I promise.
All right, congratulations again. Appreciate it. All right, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. And, of course, Neil Smith's been a proud pro for a long time, but who has been prouder? And you talked about him. You had a marvelous interview with him this morning. You put your arm around John Elway. Your final game was the loss 11 years ago in Super Bowl XX with the Giants. You spoke about something then.
Told him that he would be back. Didn't know he would be back 3 times before he won it, but he finally got it done. And I think that I said this morning, you would see a more mature John Elway, a John Elway that was better suited to winning this football game. Today, he did all the things that he is capable of. You're going to see him go with the short pass here to Shannon Sharpe. A lot of us thought that Shannon might be a little bit more in the game plan, but John did a good job of spreading the ball around. He didn't have a necessarily outstanding day. This play was a play off of an earlier play. They had run the run inside. They ran the fake there. It was clear on the outside. And then John to easy Ed McCaffrey down the seam to the right against the Packers defense. And then this is the kind of effort that he has given his entire career. I think that that's one of the things that any player on that football team has always been able to respect, the kind of effort that he has given every time that he goes out on the field.
He's won early in his career. He has now won the optimum late in his career. And, you know, he is such a classic guy to have in or near the lead in the fourth quarter. And we talked about he'd never had that opportunity in the Super Bowl before. Look, these are no apologies made because the Green Bay Packers are certainly capable of winning close games. But if you look at the 3 games they won in the playoffs last year, yes, New England gave them a good game in the Super Bowl. If you look at the 2 games they won in the playoffs this year going into the Super Bowl, they had not won a crippler, as we like to call it. That's no knock on them, by the way, because they knocked. But yet they hadn't been in this 2-year run tested as in a drive, a catch, and they couldn't come up with it today.
Well,
so that's they'll learn from that.
And I also think that human nature is always a part of football as well. And when you hear players talking about setting a team up, and I don't know if you could necessarily use that term with the Denver Broncos and the Green Bay Packers, but certainly if you are a big favorite and you listen for 2 weeks to what a good, solid football team you are and how you will not be able to be defeated by the other team, I think that emotionally you are setting yourself up to a certain extent for a loss.
31-24. This just in. The Broncos over the Packers. We have more comments before we turn it over to SportsCenter. Nighttime. San Diego. Finally, it's over.
One company helps 80% of the Fortune 100 protect their computer networks. And you've never even heard of them. So, while you're watching me, who's watching your network?
I will not accept anything less than a perfect quad twisting triple.
I will not accept anything less than my personal best.
I will not accept anything less less than 80 miles per hour.
I will not accept anything less than 1 minute 17 seconds.
I will not accept any card but Visa.
At the 1998 Olympic Winter Games, only the best is accepted. Visa, worldwide partner of the Nagano Games. It's everywhere you want to be.
People ask me all the time, how do you decide which anchors work together? And to be honest, it's an awkward process.
Dear Larry, want to do the sports together? If yes, check this box. Charlie?
Ultimately, you're looking for a good relationship.
If you're not doing anything later tonight, would you want to do a show with me?
Whoever said all's fair in love and war was probably a broadcaster.
We'll be back with more Sports Center in just a moment. I don't even know who you are anymore.
We're on TV. Game balls. Well, now let me guess. There's a guy that won an MVP from San Diego, and there's a guy that finally broke through. You think they have a chance to get it?
Yes. My game ball goes to Terrell Davis, and we have to remember that he missed a quarter of football. I think that if you include that, he gained up a $157, but had he not missed a quarter, who knows what he would have been able to accomplish.
Well, my game ball goes to John Elway, because nobody has just persevered and has played with the class and the stature and the determination of number 7. It's true, even the old gunslingers in the West get beat sometimes, but the best of the gunslingers always come back. Oh, the stats will say 122 yards passing. How could he get a game ball? I'll tell you what, he gets it because he wins late.
Yeah, and everybody will say what a great game Terrell Davis had, the 3 rushing touchdowns, the Super Bowl record, and yet I think that very seldom will it be remembered that he missed a quarter of football in this game.
We'll be back with more on NFL Primetime in just a moment. Stay with us here. The merriment is only teeing off.
This is what your house feels like on the new Coldwell Banker Real Estate website. It attracts lots of attention, so your home can be seen by thousands of buyers every day until it's sold. Online, on the phone, or in person. Coldwell Banker, making real estate real easy.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? How?
Travel with Joseph Van Oss Photo Safari to Kenya's land of the Maasai.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
And you'll see a culture and a wildlife like no other on earth.
How do you stop a rhino from charging?
But bring your Visa card.
How do you stop a rhino from charging? Give it an American Express card.
Because this photo safari doesn't take American Express.
Wait till they hear this in Nairobi.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
No matter where people buy and sell homes, we'll be there. Coldwell Banker Real Estate. Our 90 years of experience goes a long way. Call 1-888-574-SOLD for your Coldwell Banker office, making real estate real easy.
The Pro Bowl erupts in Hawaii. All-Stars collide here on ABC. Bring on the game now.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime / NFL Primetime. 8-4. Shannon Sharpe, man of many words.
Right is for you. I told you we were going to bring it home. Nobody gave us a chance. But Mike told us we're at a neutral site. We beat Kansas City at their place. We beat Pittsburgh at their place. We're the world champs.
You know what? They did it the hard way. They had lost that San Francisco game, and they said, well, want to win on the road now, or do you win on the road later? They won on the road later. Now, you have something you've been carrying around.
My wife and daughter will express my sentiments on the day. I'll just let you hear it. I think that what happens, I think that very few people will ever know what a football team goes through, and it's been a certain number of years of frustration by this football team. And for everyone who's ever played for the Broncos, or ever been a Bronco, or will be a Bronco, this victory will affect this organization and affect everybody who's ever been a part of this organization.
Now you wonder how long it's going to be till the NFC catches up.
Yeah, maybe we'll win 13 in a row.
Well, that'll be tough. You know what? We give game balls out as a course of the year, but I want to give a different sort of game ball out. Congratulations. Now, we can't open this right now, but we might just real soon. Congratulations, Thomas, to you and everyone in the Broncos organization.
Thank you, Chris.
I know that it's a And you believe. You thought that they beat a formidable football team now.
Yes, they beat a very good football team, and it was my thought that they would go out. I thought everything would be keyed by the fact that Terrell Davis would run the ball.
The Green Bay Packers will learn from this. As we said, it was a crippler of a game, which they did not come out on top. And they will be hungrier by this. Remember, this is an offense that primarily is very young and a team that until now went up, 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 up every year with what they've accomplished. They didn't get knocked off very far because to get back to a Super Bowl is an impressive feat. And now that feat and that task falls to the Denver Broncos.
That is correct. I wonder who will be named as the favorite to win next year's Super Bowl, because they always do it right away. I think it'll be very interesting to see if it's the Green Bay Packers or if they think Favre and company will make a return.
Congratulations to the Denver Broncos. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime. SportsCenter's next. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching.